Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to the virtual session of Science Children. So we are going to continue with the chapter 11, Transportation in Animals and Plants, part 5. I hope you all are maintaining your notebook, children, and you have to take down all the important points discussed in the session as you all normally do. So you have to write down all the points which we are going to discuss in the session today. Let us continue. Different organisms excrete different waste. So here we will see how different organisms excrete different ways. We in this chapter we are dealing with how transportation of various nutrients, oxygen, water is essential for the survival of living organism. In this session, first of all, we will see different organisms excrete different ways because they eat differently. The eating habit is different, therefore excretion waste is also different. The major excretory product in human is urea. Urine consists of toxic waste, that is 2.5%, and urea 2.5%, and water 95%. So toxic waste 2.5%, urea 2.5%, and water 95%. These are the excretory products in human. The way in which waste chemicals are removed from the body of the animal depends on the availability of water. Fishes and aquatic animals excrete ammonia in the water. So the way in which chemicals are removed from the body because they are toxic to the body, it's very harmful for the body, it has to be excreted, it has to be eliminated from the body. It all depends upon the availability of the water in the body. Now fishes and aquatic animals, they excrete ammonia in the water because they live in water, and for them it's very easy to give out the ammonia gas in the water. Birds, snakes, and lizards excrete semi-solid white colored uric acid. So they excrete semi-solid because the water content in the body is less. So water content in the body is less. That's why they give out semi-solid waste. That is white colored, and that is a uric acid. I hope you are writing this, children, in your notebook. Now some concept we need to understand because we are learning about the excretory system, and you have learned about the excretory system. You will have drawn the excretory system in the previous session, hopefully. And when we are learning about the excretory system of human, we need to understand the concept of dialysis. What is dialysis? Sometimes people use artificial kidneys, that is, they get the blood purified artificially periodically. It is called dialysis. They have to do so in a case of kidney failure, in which the kidneys of a person are unable to perform their function due to an infection or an injury. So, when the kidney cannot function properly, or kidney has infection or some kind of injury, then the body toxicity will increase. In that case, person can go to coma and finally die. So in what is the next option? So in medical science, we had found dialysis is a method by which blood is purified, because blood is all full of toxic since the kidney is not working. So when the kidney is not working, therefore this is an artificial method where they use artificial kidneys and they get the blood purified artificially, and it has to be done periodically, because if the toxic remain in the blood for long period of time, it will be very harmful. It will damage all the other organs and can lead to death. This is dialysis. It is an artificial kidney used to purify blood, because kidney is not working at this time. Dialysis is very much important and it has to be done for survival. Please take this down, children, in your notebook, since we are learning about the excretory system, and we need to know about the toxic waste in our body, and it has to be eliminated. And in case kidney, which is organ to filter all the toxic waste from the body, in case if it is not working, it becomes dysfunctional or some infection, then dialysis is the resort for survival. Then how is sweat useful to us? How sweat is useful? Why do we sweat? There, all the body function has some purpose for the benefit of a body. Naturally, our body is adapted that way so that our survival becomes easier. Sweating, how does it help? Sweat contains water and some salts, and hence help in getting rid of toxic waste from the body. So sweat you had some kind of smell. That smell is due to the toxins in the body, which is being released in the form of sweat. Also, sweat evaporates from our skin. It takes up our body heat, and this makes us feel cool, especially during the summer days. You must have yourself realized, you must have seen this when you're playing continuously and you sweat a lot, and then you sweat a lot means your body heat is given out. So when it takes up, when the water which evaporates, the sweat which evaporates after some time from your body, gives cooling effect. You feel heated up after playing, and when you settle down, when you sit down, you will feel that when sweat evaporates from your body, it takes away all the heat, and you feel better. You feel cool. This is how sweat is useful to us. Please take this down, children. Transportation in plants we are going to learn now. We have seen transportation in animals, in humans. We have seen the excretory system. And now we are going to learn about the transportation in plants. As you have seen, transportation in animals is so important. Transportation of nutrients, oxygen, water to various parts of the body, to all the cells of the body. Similarly, transportation is extremely important for plants. Transportation of water and minerals in plants, we will see now. The roots of the plants absorb the essential minerals and water from the soil. As you all know, roots does the major function of absorbing nutrients and water from the soil, because it has to give to the other parts of the plant so that plants can survive. The roots have hair-like structure present on them. This hair increases the surface area of the roots and hence allow more amount of absorption. So roots always have some fine uh, hairy structure which help in the absorption of the water and nutrients. It gives a larger surface area for the absorption. That means all the fine hair and the fine structure, hairy like structure, helps in the absorption. It increases the surface area. More the surface area, better is the absorption of the water and the minerals. Please take this down in your notebook, children. Now here you can see absorption by roots. You see roots over here, and the part of the root is magnified over here. You can see in the image here how it is magnified, and what you can see, the magnified image over here down below the root part. You will see the root parts going inside the soil, and the soil contains soil particles, root hair, and soil will have water. Soil will have air inside, because soil is porous in nature. It has fine pores. Those fine holes or pores will have air. This air will be helpful for the roots to breathe, because roots has to breathe. Breathing is so important, as you know. So you see the part of the root inside the soil, and the soil will have soil particles. Root hair you can see going inside the soil. As you know, the roots go deep inside the soil. They get water, they get air to breathe, and you can see the air spaces inside. I hope this is very clear, how roots absorbs the nutrients from the soil and absorb water from the soil. Next, we will see transportation by xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem, they are the special types of tissue for transportation of minerals and water in plants. So here you will see xylem, and how xylem and phloem will be very helpful for the transportation of nutrients, water, and various other materials required by different parts of the plants. You have to draw this in your notebook, children. Please draw this diagram of xylem. A part of the xylem shown under microscope. You will see the transportation of water in xylem. Please label it, and see in the phloem the structure of the phloem tissue is different. So how water is transported? Here you can see. Here you will see transportation of sucrose in phloem. Sucrose means food. So xylem helps in the transportation of water, and phloem helps in the transportation of food. Please draw this diagram. You can see the cells over here, companion cells. Then you will have source cell. The source cell in the leaf you will find. They are the source because leaf will prepare food. Food is actually glucose that is converted in is actually glucose is actually sucrose. Sucrose is a food getting transported, and you will see the zinc cell in the root. So here you will see the xylem and the phloem, how they transport water and food to various parts uh, of the plants. Please draw this diagram in your notebook, children. Let us see. In the next session, we will continue with xylem and phloem. We will have a detailed study of xylem and phloem, what exactly they do. We will have a detailed study of the xylem and phloem in the next session, children. In this session, you just draw the diagram. We will have a detailed discussion. Thank you, children, and have a wonderful day.